baby's home. Cairo, Cairo is my baby's home. One bad Cairo night won't be long. Women in Cairo, they will treat you kind and sweet. Women in Cairo, they will treat you kind and sweet. Catch you around and take you off your feet. Shoot you and knock you, teach you and cut you too. Shoot you and knock you, teach you and cut you too. They get through the graveyard, then for you. Women in Cairo send you down to your grave.
Yeah. So Cairo Blues that you were just listening to went in D sharp. Basically what they did when they played live is that they lowered the pitch and the tuning of their guitars half step lower. All right, God, I'm already nagging about that theory, which I usually don't want to talk about. Hello and welcome. Another live stream with me, Homesick Mac, and this is number 50. 50. I'm totally stoked. Not by any means, but by the fact that I've done 50 it's more that I've done 50. I've been consistent for like 50 times over the past year, which has never really happened. And I'm not really consistent in the things that I'm doing, unless I have to be consistent. Yeah. And I'm having a stage fright. Having a stage fright before this whole thing that I'm doing today, the 50th live stream. I was in a hurry, trying to prepare, but actually I didn't want to prepare to see if I'm going to have more stage fright than if I was really, really kind of prepared 1 hour prior to the live stream. Everything was set up, the lights were on, everything that I'm doing, behind the scenes stuff, recording, everything would be kind of, but it's not. So I got one more little thing to fix. Just give me a second. Yeah, something like that. How are you guys doing? let me know in the chat if you're having stage fright when you're performing. And I'm looking at you, Geir from Norway, Lars-Göran Magduch from Eskilstuna here in Sweden, and Graham, who's in the UK from Wantage. All three of you are performing, one way or another. Let me know in the chat. Do you have a stage fright? Because I am. I'm always having stage fright, and it used to be much more when I was younger. Now you might think that, okay, now he's older, he doesn't really care. He won't give a damn. But yeah, here's Abby. Great Abby. I'd love to hear more from you about stage fright and how it appears sometimes. But okay, let's not get lost in talking about the main subject for today right away, right now. I'm going to give you a little touch of some little improvisation indeed, like a welcome song, like a welcome groove. Actually, I'm very much inspired by today's live stream by David Hunt, who I listen to every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, playing his fantastic piano and just playing some very spiritual and fantastic music in his own arrangements. And his touch on the piano is, out of this world. He's an amazing musician, a wonderful human being. So he inspired me to just kind of do things a little bit differently. So I guess you'll be able to recognize the songs. I'm going to just play a couple of minutes, and let's just do that to start with. So now you're all officially welcome, and let's see and say hello to people. First, as usually, I think Geir missed one of these 50 live streams. Amazing. Thank you, Geir. All right, let's see who else do we got here. Lars-Göran. Give me a second. I've got some issues here, just a little bit of technical stuff, but now it's okay. And as we say, Graham is here. Thank you for coming, sir. And Abby Budgeon, hello, hello. Solasta, all right. I'm not sure I'm familiar who you were, but yes, wait a minute. All right, UK. That's it. Simon, all right. I think it's you. Oh, God. I'm sorry, folks. Maybe you don't want to be named in an official live stream. Everything is going live. So, okay, let me know if it's okay or not. So, on the question of do you feel stage fright, here's a very good point. It depends on how well prepared I am. That is a thing that I'm thinking about a lot. Oh, shout out, David. Of course I'm shouting out. An amazing live stream today, down by the Riverside. That's why I played it now here. Got inspired by your version. Okay, another great good point. More difficult with a small audience than with a bigger one. Well, I might just add, depending on how close that bigger audience is. Thank you, Abby. So let's see, the stage fright. This is gonna go with us for the whole live stream to see how you guys are coping with it. Sometimes I've been thinking why I do this, but normally it's okay before gig. Yeah, great. Patrick, great to see you here. And I got a question for you later on as well. Oh, you already replied. Okay, your legs usually stopped shaking by the song number 3. This is great. All right. All right. People say hi to each other, which is great. That's why we like these live communities. Let's see. Yep, it's me, and it's fine, Simon. Good. Very old gaming-related YouTube name. Okay, cool. So let's see what Abby's got to say here. I think it depends on so many things. Not feeling prepared definitely contributes. Who's in the audience, how the sound is. Oh yeah, definitely. Sometimes a bad audio, the bad sound, bad engineer in the room can really ruin it. Yeah, everything can just go wrong from that point on. But there are ways to cope with it. So, great. How is the rest of the Lars-Göran band? Hi, guys. Great to see you. And now we're going to do the guitar backup for you to warm up if you want to do it. And I'm in the key of open D. So if you're in a mood for playing something with me, and we're going to do it a little bit more lively, and then I'll go to my other guitar and just play you a simple, the usual backup in the chord of E in standard tuning. That's going to be the slow blues. But this, we're going to just kind of spice it up a little bit. We're going a little bit with the rhythm, right? And that's this, somebody told me a couple of live streams ago that they like the bass runs on this one and the whole kind of punchy groove. So let's do it. All right. Let's change the guitar, and we'll the other. Oh, we got some more replies to this stage fright thing, so we'll go right to those after this. So, straight blues, slow blues in E. Let's play it. All right, I hope we are all warmed up. So, stage fright. How does it reveal itself? How does it show within the performer? And does it show And do the audience notice it at all? These are two questions. Before I move on, let's see what people are saying. Okay. Oh, Phil Thorne is here. Hi, Phil. Great to see you here. Thank you for your comment. Stage fright, not too much if I prepared and visualized. Okay. Then tension creeps. Yeah, sure. Now, this is not promoting drinking habits of our audience, but I know what you mean. Yes. A couple of beers and it's gone. Abby says, I think another thing can be if you're really concerned with your emotions. Yeah, sometimes I feel like I need to be lost in the music and want to turn inwards. So, yeah, doing the performance is yeah, a bit feel. Yeah, okay. So doing the performing bit feels terrifying. Yeah, sure. And that's one of the hardest thing to do, to really immerse yourself into the music and not notice what's going on. And there are a lot of factors playing in there, of course. Hi Tom, great to see you here. Thanks for coming. Helkan, a genuine music lover and a great knowledge about old-timey music. And man, what this guy doesn't know about popular music from the, let's say, 40s and on, right? When we come to rockabilly stuff, yeah, something there in between bluegrass and rockabilly era and forward. You know all about those things. That's great. So Abby says, I think that's often when you might do your best performance, but all when a tiny thing could distract you and cause everything to fall to pieces. Yeah, and this part is also something I have a note about, how to combat that. Thank you, David. Yeah, if you're trying something new, I've done this before, and sometimes you just feel so good while you're performing, and you just feel like, oh, I got to do this now. Now it's a good time. I haven't really prepared. I haven't really practiced, but I feel it's a good mood, and the audience is there. Everybody's with me. I might as well try something else. But then it creeps in kind of halfway through the song. Oh, is this really good? Oh, I should have done this or that. And then you start thinking too much. And overthinking is one of the things that's obviously not too good for dealing with stage fright. But hey guys, don't think that I'm sitting on world-class knowledge about all this. It's just that I'm just talking from my experience. I didn't even do any real research online about things, and I think it's just a matter of, I don't know, thinking about it and living through it and playing through it over the years. So I got my notes about what happened to me over the years and how I dealt with some things. So maybe it can be interesting for you to hear. All right, USA attacks, Ohio. Hi, Milovan, great to see you here. Stage anxiety is normal. Start with the with the least demanding, technically demanding song. Smile a lot and always remember the audience is there not for a perfect performance, but to feel something. Exactly. Very, very good point. Simon says, thinking too much is deadly. If I start thinking about what's next or what I'm playing, then there's a risk of mind going blank. Yeah, definitely. That's true. So, try not to be too kind of smart sounding or whatever. It's like some people are really stuck with the stage fright for years, and I sometimes meet people like that who are very accomplished musicians and they can really perform, but they come to my workshops, and sometimes the main thing is to get rid of the stage fright. It's like, okay, I'm coming into this group. We're getting these lessons from you, and I like being with other people. And after a couple of hours, I feel as a part of this group, and it's much easier to perform when you know these people around you, and when you see those kind of nice looks on their faces, and everybody's kind. And of course, it's making the whole situation much easier to deal with, and you feel more confident, and you do it. But the problem with being a professional musician and coming out to getting paid to do a job, already this little part is creating the tension that's not there if I may be about to play at a house party or jam with a couple of friends and all that. So already that part is kind of raising the level of the whole thing and causing it maybe to, okay, well, let's see how we can deal with that. That's one aspect of it. Then there's this other one. Yeah. Sometimes people tell me like, oh, but you're here, you're listening to me, and I feel kind of intimidated because, you're better than us, and you're professional. You'll maybe think this is not good enough. And there's nothing that can be further away from the truth, because if there's a colleague in the audience, a musician colleague, there's no friendlier human being on earth at that moment than that guy particular. Even if he plays exactly the same style as you're playing, if even he or she can play all the same licks that you can play, and sometimes maybe you think, oh, this guy's even better than me, or is definitely better than me. It doesn't really matter, because they're there for the music, for networking, for just, being there to support you. So seeing other musicians in the audience shouldn't be intimidating. It should be only inspiring. I was actually having difficulties with understanding that when I was younger. And I don't know, maybe it's just a prejudice, maybe it's just a matter of being unexperienced and everything. But I remember playing on an occasion where there were lots of people in the audience who were great authorities when it comes to the things that I'm doing, journalists within blues, people who are involved in promotion, club owners, festival promoters, record company owners, some very established musician colleagues, and you just feel like, oh damn, this is not going to go well. I'm not good enough for this. And you start thinking, and okay, Lassier, maybe that second or third beer would help in the end, and maybe it will just kind of let go in the middle of the performance, and maybe the music will just take over and you will just perform still really well and all that. But there's always this other aspect of what is really a good performance. Milovan says is when you have the feeling, when you provoke a feeling within the audience for what you're doing. My kind of saving kind of point, and the thing that really saves me when I don't feel like 100% perfect and I have the stage fright of some kind, is that I really don't play something that's technically difficult on the guitar. And then another thing that needs to be there is that I'm telling something with that song. It's got to be some kind of storytelling. It's got to be this contact with the audience. And then if you get that and you get some nice reaction, that will just kind of release the whole tension, and you can play some more difficult stuff later on. And that's maybe usually why I sometimes don't lead into a performance with an instrumental that's kind of demanding, as I did today. But okay, today it was totally improvised and all that. But hey, now we're talking only from the aspect of already somebody who's already started playing and feels stage fright. let's talk about a couple of hours or a couple of days, couple of weeks prior to an important performance. Let's maybe we can have this example of me playing at this Almo Blues Festival last summer, which was a fantastic experience, and I really, really love playing in those places because, hey, it's Almo Blues Festival. It's the largest blues event in Scandinavia, so it's got to be good. I really need to be good there, and I'm going to be playing in the street, and that's one of the most demanding gigs. For me, much more difficult than to play on a large stage where you have like 15 meters to the audience, even if there are maybe 2, 3, 4,000 people in the audience, especially in the evenings. But I find the street gigs being very, very demanding because people are like this close. They are really, really close to you, and the street is packed during the festival. People want to hear music. They want to come forward. They want to talk to you and all that, which is the best medicine for, dealing with the stage fright. I'm always feeling stage fright before playing festivals and kind of stages where you really need to perform, you really need to deliver, right? And I remember when I played for the first time as a solo performer, that was a very difficult experience. That was tough because when I started playing guitar, I was always playing with somebody else. I was always in at least a duo, 2 guitars, 2 vocals, or we were maybe 3, 4 in the band. And somehow the stage fright was shared between all of us, and we could all help each other just to deal with it and then keep ourselves occupied. And all of a sudden it was time to play, and that was it. So when I moved from my home country of Yugoslavia and started playing more as a solo artist, those couple of first gigs were really, really demanding. It was like, damn, I'm totally alone. Nobody else. I don't know anybody in the audience either. And it was sometimes even liberating when you don't know anybody. It's like, oh, okay, I'm just going to do it. Let's just play. But sometimes it was really, really difficult to deal with it. But then the years went by and you get some nice reactions from the audience. And then even if you think I'm very extrovert and you think maybe, oh, he's a performer, he likes talking to people, he's good at communication and all that. No, I'm very introvert. On the contrary, from what it maybe looks from outside, I really, really like to both be alone and do things that only I'm doing, and sometimes I'm not. It's not so easy to deal with other people, right? But I've learned how to do it, and I know that there is this kind of little step in between my anxiety of contacting and talking to somebody and the moment we start talking. Then everything is like, in 99% of all cases, is great because people like doing that. So my medicine for dealing with stage fright, if you're coming to a totally new place, is to come a couple hours before, do your sound check, of course, and all. And then there's this empty spot in between the sound check and the performance. Sometimes we'll get food, and even if you don't know anybody, start socializing. That's one of the best medicines I can really give to somebody who's feeling anxious and having a stage fright and being concerned about how it's going to go and all that. Just talk to somebody and keep yourself occupied until it's time to perform. Maybe that could be the main sentence of the whole live stream. Kind of keep yourself busy so that you don't think about it. At the same time, there are different angles to that as well. Some people really love the pressure of a live gig, and sometimes I've met people like that. I've met performers like that who say, I don't want to prepare because otherwise I'll be feeling the stage fright if I when it comes to, oh, am I going to be able to perform all the licks that I practiced, all the stuff that I know I want to do? I've done my set lists, and then what if the audience don't react the way I expect them to? And then I get lost because, oh God, I got my set list and songs 1, 2, and 3 went, and then the fourth song wasn't really good, and then nobody clapped. And like, what am I going to do now? So I think it's still much better to be prepared in any case. Prepare for the gig, prepare for the set lists, and I usually don't make set lists with concrete songs in a particular order if I'm playing solo. If I play with my harmonica player, Peter Joe from Belgrade, we've been doing this together for like 40 years. Next year we're going to be celebrating 40 years of playing together, and actually 40 years as a band. But before that, we played for a couple of years just fooling around, not even knowing that we're going to be a band. So we really know each other, and I think we've done 5 or 6 gigs through the whole career that we really knew exactly which songs we were going to be playing. Somehow, by all, as time went by, and we have our like 3 or 4 closing songs that we know that we'll always have to play, and we usually play them in the end. And that part is that's sacred. We have to do it. But all in between that, we usually group the songs by the groove. So if some songs are like a fast shuffle, like a do 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 do, then we usually kind of list 5 or 6 songs that have that kind of pattern, rhythmical pattern. And then it's usually a matter of the subject of the song. If somebody in the audience maybe were yelling something at us, or saying something that reminds me of a line in a song, or lyrics, or something, that I might as well take that song and just play it and have fun with it. So that's one of the aspects. But some people really don't like to prepare too much, and that's a fact. Yeah, so you did reply quite a lot in the chat already, but let me just see if I've missed something that happened. Yeah, okay, that was Simon's. Jimmy, all right. It was worst when I was younger. Now I just let it go and trust my band. As somebody says, it's all about showing feelings. That Milovan said that. Yeah, they're there to see you. They like you. Yeah, of course. Expectations, your own and perceived, exactly. Imposter syndrome are big things. I mean, just if you look at the news, and if you look at what becomes a news, what becomes interesting to be written about in media or on social media, is when some of the great artists has trouble in their lives. It's like, what do you mean you got anxiety coming out on the stage? I mean, they're the best in their field. They're popular. They've got money, the recognition, everything is there. Why are they nagging? What's wrong? Why isn't it perfect? Because people are expecting to be perfect when they see a star in front of them. But everybody's vulnerable. That part will never change. And sometimes the biggest stars have the largest anxiety before going on stage compared to us mortals, muggles, so to say. So that part is basically the same no matter how known you are. There's this little part of imposter syndrome that sits there, sometimes in the back of the head, sometimes it's very much here in front of you, and sometimes it's really intimidating and stopping you from doing things. And I feel imposter syndrome when it comes to this YouTube stuff, because I still haven't made a single new produced video. I have performing videos on my channel, and lots of those are filmed by other people, not by myself. but I still haven't done those real guitar playing videos that I was talking about now for the whole year. Why? Because I feel the imposter syndrome. Who am I to tell somebody what to play, how to do it? Sometimes even you come to workshops and say, come on, why am I the teacher here? I mean, who is setting those boundaries, or who is setting those kind of lines in between knowledge levels or knowledge stages that I like to call it, in between people and musicians and people who are playing. Yeah. All right. We addressed that. How much do the tech? Yeah. Okay. So the tech circumstances, how do they affect a stage fright? In my case, not so much anymore, because in the beginning, I kind of trusted the sound engineer, people around me, either the agent, or sometimes we had these nice gigs where we had an audio engineer that was traveling with us and really preparing everything for us. When I played with Sam Mitchell, I think we had maybe 2 or 3 gigs during that period of 4 or 5 years that we didn't have a sound engineer with us. An amazing guy from Denmark who is just fantastic at his job, and he was working with Sammy's big band, Sandman, for years, and then he just kept on helping us out. And sometimes he drove us, sometimes he just did the sound, just came and deal with everything. He dealt with everything at the venue. I didn't need to turn a single knob. But after that, I started working more and more on my own sound, and just realized that it's too much hassle to deal with sound people. And instead, I concentrated on learning how to prepare my sound so that they get my sound that's finished and ready to go. All they need is to maybe adjust the volume for the room, and that would be it. So what I do is I have either my pedal board or a preamp and my complete sound ready, and I usually take, if I'm not flying, of course, I usually take my own acoustic amplifier with me, and I have 2 of those, either the Roland AC90, which is not in production anymore, but it's the same thing as AC60 that they have now. I think my old one is better. Don't tell them. I love Roland anyway. And then I also have this little practicing amplifier called Positive Grid, which is really, really great. And you can prepare your own presets for the sound and everything. You just give them an XLR cord and plug it into the stage box, and you're done. Especially when I play kind of half solo gigs, which means like in Omo at this blues festival where I played in the street. That gig was done so that they leave you the PA system there. A company that deals with it just comes there, sets up everything. He says, okay, everything is on, just fix your volume, and that's it. And that's my best situation because I can really deal with everything. And over the years, I've learned how to deal and work with the PA systems. But so let's assume that you have a perfect sound. Everything works well. And in my case, it would be 80% of a perfect situation. And I really don't feel so much stage fright in that situation because I really know that I will own the sound for what I do. And at the moment, I just feel like playing and I don't give a damn. I'll just do it, right? But if you're having trouble with either a sound engineer or there are technical issues, then it's very important to have a backup, some kind of a backup, either an effect processor where you also have a kind of a layer of sound that would do if necessary. I sometimes combine solo pedals, like analog or digital pedals, separate units, and I combine them with an effect processor of some kind, which gives you modulation, some reverbs, whatever effects you want to apply, and all that. So I usually in 90% of cases, always have a backup with me. So if something goes wrong, I have a probably quite okay solution to deal with that. So how did I deal with the stage fright at this street performance? It was you're setting up your stuff, and people usually don't want to disturb you, and they usually don't come forward while you're preparing everything. But as soon as you're done, there will always be a couple of people who want to, come forward and talk and ask you, oh, you're going to play today? Oh, great. What are you going to play, right? And then it would be a great opportunity to ask, well, what do you want to hear? And since I'm playing on the blues festival, and audience is like 90% blues people, and they would ask for a song or two or three or four, and I would usually know at least one of those songs, and then I'll do them. And then I could even dedicate it to that guy whom I asked how what his name was and all that. So you gotta connect with people, and you feel much more confident right from the bat. And that's also one of the medicines, how to cure the stage fright in those situations. Another thing is also that if you're a solo performer, don't be alone. Spend time with somebody prior to the show so you can, stop thinking about the show. Just spend your time with somebody else. And as I said, talk to people. All right, let me see now. What do we got? Abby says, I find the days leading up to the gig can be much harder than the actual day. Yes, definitely. When it has come to the execution, when you're in it, then you don't have the time to think too much about what can go wrong because you're already doing it. So that's great. Yeah, practice makes permanent. Yeah, it is true, David. It is. But I've actually met quite a few people who really prepare and they just forget everything because of the stage fright. And sometimes it's physical. Sometimes it's people are trembling. People are like really shaking prior to the gig, and sometimes they even almost as if it's a little bit blank here in front of the face, like, hey man, come on, let's do it. And they're like, what? I've met people like that, and I think we are so different as human beings, and some people, I don't know, they just react that way, and that's it. Short gigs are easy to adjust song list on the fly, less nervous. Long gigs, harder, more nervous. Have we prepared for that? Right. Yeah. Exactly. Marty. All right. Good. Yes, David. Right. And David is running a music masterclass on his channel. Just go and check that out. So about the technical part, Patrick says we mostly bring our own mixer and PA, and I like to practice with the stage rig. Oh yeah, if it's possible, that's perfect. All balanced, more confidence, less stage fright. Definitely, I agree with that. So guys, that's an amazing subject, I think. Stage fright doesn't have to be a fright. It can be a little dose of anxiety. It can be something that even motivates you. It can be something that can even inspire, because sometimes you really need to push it to kind of climb the edge and not know really what's on the other side. And that's what I do sometimes in a very, very cozy situations where you really feel like you're welcome people like you, if everything is fine, then I usually get this strong urge to do something that I haven't done before. That maybe some songs, a song that I haven't played in this arrangement at all. And I've always had this thought, okay, maybe I could change this to that, but I've never really had the courage to do it because either people know that I'm playing this song this way, or that I just felt like, no, I'm not good enough yet. No, I need to wait with it. I need to practice more. And sometimes it's good to go through these situations that way. Just climb over the limb and throw yourself down to the lions and see what happens. Lars Göran says, I think it's hard to talk and interact to people before a gig. I like to be alone, be in the bubble, so to speak. Yeah, I've done that as well, but in some situations I kind of increased my anxiety, and it didn't really help me, but that's me, right? Sometimes there are situations when I play places where I perform quite often at, let's say, Mojo Club in Copenhagen, where Copenhagen is such a great big city. You cannot expect that the same audience will be there every time you play. Maybe a couple of core members and people who are there all the time anyway would come and all that, but it's so much time in between gigs, so I guess nobody really remembers what you played the last time. But I remember, and I keep my kind of notes after each gig, and then I kind of want to do something else. I want to do something different. So sometimes I would maybe prepare a couple of licks in between some songs, and that can be a challenge to do it. And sometimes that can create a new stage fright because, oh shit, this is something new. I'd better be good when I'm doing this and all that. But I don't know, maybe I've come to that age where when you're more experienced, when you have gone through many different versions of stage fright, many different shapes of it, many different emotions, it's like I have much less worries with stage fright nowadays. I have to admit it, of course. So David says this about when you play alone or with a group. I find that if it's a group gig, I usually don't have the stage fright as opposed to playing by myself. Preparation is key. Yeah, of course. But Albert, great to see you here. Had a stressful speech therapy session that wiped me out. All right. I hope you're reloaded now, recharged. We're talking about stage fright. But David, I want to ask you, for your live streams, you're improvising so much. How do you calm down so that you can really immerse yourself in music? Do you just start playing and then slowly get into that? Because that's my impression of how you do it. Let's not analyze a certain song or whatever, but I kind of feel that you just start playing, and then after a couple of minutes it gets into this kind of steady state where everything is flowing, and that's how I perceive it. But do you feel any kind of what are your feelings when you're live streaming and actually performing live for 1 hour? When I play my things here, is like I play a 2-3 minute backup or maybe a song or two or something, and then I'm done. But you play continuously for like 35-40 minutes sometimes. Let us know in the chat, and maybe that can be a conclusion for today. It's been a great subject, and thank you so much for your comments. It's been great. Yeah. And don't forget to hit that like button for this live stream. And you who haven't subscribed yet, you're more than welcome to do that. And before we go, I'd like to ask you about the future live stream kind of topics, what we're going to be talking about. Because, of course, I love playing the guitar, but there are many aspects of my life as a musician and as somebody who's working within music, both within music business, the nonprofit that I'm working with. I'm responsible for the music division there. So basically, 99% of what I do is something related to music or media. So I'd like to maybe sometimes address things like productivity more than I did before. Maybe I'd like to go and show more of, let's say, how's the computer set up for somebody like me, what I do there. Maybe I'd like to talk more about the gear, about the real technical part of having music gear, and maybe showing setup manuals, kind of practical advices about amplifiers, preamps, effect units of different kinds. Maybe I could just throw in, a couple of licks about using the pedal board and how to do it. I've just showed you the pedal board that I assembled a couple of months ago, but now I've been using it for quite a long time, and there are some really, really great things you could do. So let me know if you'd be interested in that. So let's see, David replied, slowly and bit by bit, I put myself there. Yeah, okay. So actually, I don't think there's a on and off switch that's immediate. It needs to kind of kick in, either slowly or a bit faster with some people, but we need to start, and then it will come, and the stage fright will relieve, I guess. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming. It's been a great seeing you all today, and I hope you will join me next time. I'm enjoying this angle. Okay. Yeah, thank you, David. And I think, you're teaching as well, so I guess you're getting those questions as well about stage fright and how to deal with it. Yeah. Patrick replied, yeah, to the parchment. Yes, it's heaven when possible. 1 hour and a half of sleep and I'm a brand new artist. Yeah, that's right. You can really rest in between. Great. Thank you, and thank you everybody else for coming. I think it's been a great hour spent together, and I hope I will see you next week on February 27th. And then, until then, have a great time. I'll see you then.
It was in spring, one sunny day, my sweetheart left me, thought she went away. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. Things could call me up, down and out by soul. Said, come back, Daddy, thought I need you so. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. like my peaches, don't you shake my tree. Get out of my orchard, let my peaches be. Now she's gone, I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. Spring, one sunny day, my sweetheart left me, now she went away. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. Now she's gone, and I don't worry,